Tim Bradley, Spence running away from Crawford. I'm worried about his eye versus Ugas. Well, I'm going to tell you everything I'm worried about in this video. Let's chop it up.
Push the weight enough flex. The livest one in the section. With the runner boy, you nigga, no question. You will run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I mean, Dave Walker, drink blood, trains out, full moon. Motherfucker change like a hoe. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Drew Titan Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Mo butter biscuit, sir. Mo butter biscuit. Tim Bradley. Boxing scene, link will be in the description. You already know the deal, man. I mean, whatever, man. Tim Bradley. Spence running away from Crawford. I'm worried about his eye in Ugas fight. Tim Bradley has developed into one of boxing's most brutally honest analysts ever since retiring in 2016 with a record of 33 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. Brutally honest, huh? 2016, was that around the time? Okay, how many times you lost to Manny Pacquiao? I mean, I say 2, some say 3. If you want to be brutally honest, right? The man you're talking about, Errol Spence, didn't you duck him? Since we're being brutally honest, right? You ducked him. Okay. All right. Let me read on. The former 140, 170, 147-pound champion currently serves as a color commentator for ESPN. And the boxer turned broadcaster joined Max Kellerman's show, Max on Boxing. Right, I bet. The breakdown, the current welterweight picture involving its 3 titleists. The WBC and IBF crown holder Errol "The Truth" Spence, WBA champion Ugas Ugas, and WBO welterweight title holder Terrence Bud Crawford. Spence and Ugas are slated to slug it out this spring in a title unification fight, while Crawford, a promotional free agent coming off a convincing KO win against Sean Porter in November, is picking a fight with Top Rank by suing the company he had been tied with throughout his ascent of 3-division champion. Yeah, Spence is next level type of superstar, super fighter. I believe that, but I still think he's running from Terrence Crawford, to be honest with you, said Bradley. How do I see Spence versus Ugas? It's tough. It's a tough fight, but an easier fight than Terrence Crawford. All right, let me get through this. I'm sorry, y'all. Ugas Ugas, he's a waiter. He's a counterpuncher. We've seen Errol in the ring against counterpunchers. Danny Garcia was a counterpuncher. Mikey Garcia was a counterpuncher. We've seen what Spence can do against those types of guys. He can orchestrate his jab from the outside. He can dominate from the outside. And he can come around the guards of those guys. He can dictate the pace. That's what he's going to do against Ugas. You just said that Errol's going to win the fight. You just said you're picking Errol to win the fight. But let me read on. He says, my only concern is, in this fight, Spence's eye. Got to understand, you can have no hands. You can have no feet. You got to have eyes to be able to see inside the ring. And when one of your lenses is messed up, you got to understand that tells your brain what you're seeing. Your eyes are telling your brain what you're seeing. So I think with Spence, I'm worried about his eye. It's not going to be 100%. I didn't know he was a doctor, but whatever. Once you get surgery on something, it's never the same. It's different. I'm sorry. Were your feet the same when you broke both of them fighting Manny Pacquiao? The joke around the internet was Manny hit you so hard that he broke your feet. Were your feet ever the same? Is that the excuse you're saying? Some years later, my feet broke in the first Manny fight because I decided not to wear socks and come in like Mike Tyson, broke both my feet, still won the fight, fought him a couple of times after that, and I didn't lose because my feet weren't the same. Is that what you're saying? I'm just trying to read into this. Everything's different, right? Yeah, I ain't gonna read this any further, man. Link will be in the description, man. He's worried about Spence. Look, I was worried about you when you potentially was about to fight Errol Spence. I was worried about your well-being. Because I honestly thought, man, he fights Tim. If Tim gets hit by Errol, like how he got hit by Kendall Holt, the difference is Tim got up. Errol hits him like that, he might be laying down for a long time. And when he wakes up, he'll be on some Paul Williams shit. Salute to Paul. He had a motorcycle wreck. Tim was about to have an Errol Spence wreck. You go ahead and keep writing Errol off. It's okay. I don't believe anything you say about a non-top ranked fighter anyway. I remember you sat up there on ESPN looking like the girl that got stuck up on prom night. You thought you had a date. You went out and bought your hottest dress, and you waiting there. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Where's your date? Yeah, he's at the prom. He just ain't go with you. You think everybody over there in the PBC was ducking Bud. I'm not gonna trash Bud. The only thing my problem was with Bud, my only issue with Bud was that Bob Arum already had a record of doing what he did with black fighters in particular that predates his birth. And that's no cap. But you went over there anyway, Bud, and that's it. To understand where you are now, you have to know where you came from. The whole time we were saying, bro, why are you going over there? You know what's going on over there. They throw the mic in Tim Bradley's face, and what did they say? What did he say? Oh, I've never had that experience with Bob Arum. Point blank, period. Okay. But Bud is your man's though, right? You couldn't say I ain't had that issue with him, but I understand where everyone else is coming from. What did you say, Tim? F the unborn. I'm out of this. Bud got to do what Bud does. What about Shakur? Do you care? What I'm saying is, family, this man don't reserve the right to say anything in reference to any fight. He had a pretty good career. I have rooted for this man in the past, but you know what? It's time to let him go. Sometimes you got to love our people to let them go. You see this picture right here? I chose it for a reason. I could have chose anything. I could have chose a picture where he was standing there rolling his eyes like a little girl. Stood up on prom night. And then he went in on PBC Fighters. That was live on television. I said, look at this. It's funny. When I was watching that live, I'm watching his face. I said, what's wrong with him? Who hurt his feelings? And then when they gave him the mic, he went off. I said, wow, all of that for PBC Fighters? And that was over your man's Bud. If Bud took his ass to the PBC like we begged him to do, we probably wouldn't be going through this. I know what we wouldn't be going through, a lawsuit. How many fighters are suing Al Heyman for racial discrimination? How many fighters over on the PBC side are now screaming and hollering and telling me, yo, he stumped my career because I'm black and all Al wants to do is put on Mexican events? No, you don't hear that over there. You hear it in Top Rank, and you got executives saying the same thing. And salute the champ side, because today he brought about some concrete evidence said live on air. Tim, your own network that you work for, ESPN, has disrespected your man, Bud Crawford, the same guy that you said, hey, man, I never had that experience with Bob Arum. You could have said my experience is not everybody else's experience. Or you could have said no comment. So what you need to do is just lay off the Errol Spence talk, especially since when you was an active fighter in your prime, you ducked him. Shut your mouth. You're doing everyone on every side a disservice. I don't understand, man. These guys be having great careers. Then they get a mic in front of them and they sound like assholes. And he's not even a punchy like that. Are you that much of a company man? You don't reserve the right to even comment on this. You're only doing it because it's your job. And guess what? We ain't listening. This is comical. No one goes to ESPN for a boxing opinion. And what sucks is you know the sport. What's worse is you know the sport, you know the game, and you choose not to do anything or say anything. Why? You're a company man. Welcome to planet Earth. Disgusting. Bronx on deck. Move!